Here. All right, I'm excited. Yay. So, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is that you're finding yourselves. I'm so happy to be here with you. Perfect. So, today we're going to talk about how to love again. This is a great topic. I'm so excited. So, for those of you who have ever been in love, you've had your heart broken, and you just felt like, never again, this is not for me. Love life, everything in romance is just too much. Haven't we all been there? I would love for you to let me know where you're from and what are you most excited about. What are you most excited about for this topic, how to love again? And remember, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I would love to help you sort out some challenges or maybe some pain points that you might have in your life where you maybe feel a little bit stuck in the past with relationships that you've had, or maybe you have repeating patterns that you feel is blocking you from really stepping forward into a new relationship. I mean, we all have patterns, we all have blocks. We've all had relationships where we felt, it left a scar. It really left a very deep emotional wound and scar in us. And I've absolutely been there myself. So I would love for you to share, maybe if you want to share your story, if you want to ask for advice, I would love to connect with you on that topic as well. Because for me, to love again is one of the most beautiful things and one of the most powerful gifts that I've ever given myself, because I myself have been through journeys of, falling in love and then ending up in heartbreak. Sometimes the person didn't end up being who I thought they were, or maybe there was betrayal, or there was just incompatibility. It's it's tough to sometimes find that person, like your person that you can spend all your time and energy with, someone that you can hang out with. So for me, what I found that was quite a challenge was to trust. I always laugh and I make jokes and I say it's my life purpose to learn how to trust. Because for me, I feel like I came mistrusting out of the womb. So that has been a process for me to learn to trust and to filter who I could trust in relationships and who I couldn't have always been an absolute nightmare. And this all comes also from being frustrated, being scared, not knowing, am I making the right decision? Am I going to filter and see this person for who and what they are? Sometimes we also hold on to past wounds. We hold on to pain that we experienced in the past because it keeps us safe. Now, of course, to a certain degree, that is also true because it helps us to almost have like that reference for what could happen. And I don't want that to happen again. And it's almost like our filters, how we see people, how we see relationships, becomes so zoned in, it becomes so filtered on looking for these potential problems in people or in circumstances that we end up seeing something that might not be a big deal, but because we're so focused on it, we end up seeing that red flag first, which maybe it's a red flag, but in most cases is not always a red flag. Sometimes our own pain, our own wounds make this person or issues that you might see in them bigger than what they actually really truly are. Because when we look at someone from a perspective and from a pain point, then we filter out all the other great things about this person. And you might be looking at your soulmate and you completely miss that boat. Figure of speech. You missed that boat because you couldn't see the amazing qualities that this person had because of something from the past that caused you to just, your filters just became stuck on this one bad thing that they did or said. And you couldn't move beyond that. Now, this happened to me quite a few times myself as well. Do I sometimes wonder people that, that I met a few years ago, where I still sometimes wonder, gosh, I wonder where that would have went if I actually allowed it to. I'm sure we all have people like that. But I have to say, now that I've met my husband, after many trials and errors with previous relationships, I've really come to learn and understand now what is real true love. I have I always thought or saw myself as being the mentor, the facilitator, the leader, the teacher, the one who helps people to overcome these challenges. But I was pleasantly surprised by how my husband actually helped me to understand and see relationships and love and life in such a different perspective. Because love, and not just in romantic relationships, love in all areas and aspects of our life, in friendship, in you can have platonic love in your career for your colleagues. This is an essential aspect that we need in life. This is something that actually helps our nerve growth in the body. It helps the body to stay healthy, our immune system even. If we don't have love in our life, it actually affects our immune system. Bruce Lipton did amazing research on that as well. And you also probably know that when you are in love, when you are in a situation where you feel cherished, where you feel appreciated, how much more confident you feel, how much happier you feel, how healthier you feel, how much better you sleep. Now, this is when you have healthy love in your life now as well, right? Not just any type of love. Now, one thing that I noticed when people try to overcome challenges, when they try to overcome pain, a lot of them get stuck because they're not goal orientated. People who tend to stay stuck in old relationships, failed relationships, especially like staying stuck in the past, they don't have a clear goal as to how they want to move forward. And people who are goal orientated tend to move on faster, and they find new love faster as well. And normally they find it in a healthy way, not in a way where they end up sometimes, I don't know what is the English word that people often use. It's almost like when you go for someone, when you are with someone in a relationship, just to help you to get over someone else. It's not because you're actually fully into that person, right? So sometimes these phases can also come and go. But when you're goal orientated, you move on in a much more healthier way. And that's something that I learned in my life as well when I started to move on from previous relationships. The more goal oriented I was in my life, whether it was in my career or searching for a new relationships or having some kind of goal or project to work towards, that really truly also helped me a lot. But now we also have the danger of that becoming your band-aid, right? Like needing this goal to help you to stay sane, to help you to stay in a healthy place. And that is also something to look out for. But generally speaking, being goal orientated is a really, really good start. So, for those of you who would love to find love again in your life, make sure that you're actually prioritizing this, that you are making it a goal, and that you're looking for love, that you're trying to search and manifest love, not from a place of pain, not from a place of longing or neediness, but from a place where you feel, well, I am worthy of this. This is what I know I can have. Because when we try to manifest love from a place of pain or from a place of neediness or lack, look at what's actually now happening. Consciously, you know and understand what you want. It's love, right? You know and understand to a certain extent what that love should look and feel like. But now what's happening, your subconscious mind is now going back into its memory box and it's like, okay, well, let's see what is our memory and our reference associated with love. Let's go see what is the connection there. And now the connection is what? Whatever trauma you have that's unresolved from previous relationships. And this is now coming up. Whether you're conscious of it or not, this is what you actually energize. So even though your conscious idea of what you want is clear and positive, your body is becoming a frequency match to the trauma because that is what it can relate to. And that is what we end up attracting, is what we haven't resolved in ourselves. So that's why sometimes when you try to manifest love, you want this, you want that. If you don't have a healthy prior reference to it, if you don't feel worthy of it, you're going to have a problem. You're going to find yourself constantly attracting the wrong person again and again and again and again. And this is where people get really frustrated. And people who teach you or tell you how to manifest, a lot of people don't tell them that. People don't tell you this, that the real true secret of manifesting is to heal the pain or the fear that you have of what you want. If you need it, if you long for it, that's coming from a place of trauma, right? So look what you're energizing. You're not energizing the healthy version of, well, I am worthy of it. I would like to have it, and I'm going to set goals toward it. And so it is. Right? So now, and then we create that path towards what it is that we want. That's one of the biggest secrets of manifesting. And sometimes people also can't let go of previous relationships because they they can't they can't accept what happened, and they feel like, well, if I just accept what happened, then then I'm just surrendering now. No. When we accept what happened in the past and we can let it go, that is when you step into your real true power. Because sometimes people see acceptance as failure, right? They see it as surrendering. There's a difference between acceptance and surrendering. Surrendering can also be healthy. It means that you surrender. You know what? I give up. I've had enough. It means that you've run out of your options. You've run out of gasoline to try to push a relationship or something forward that's just not meant to be. And acceptance comes in when you learn to embrace something that you cannot change. Now, in most cases, that is what? The other person, right? The other person. Because sometimes we are so emotionally attached to having a person be a certain way because of the emotional benefit that we get, from it, right? So that's why when you look for a relationship, it's important, it's fundamental that you learn and understand who you are, what is your identity, what is it that you want, and why do you want it? Do you want certain things from relationships for all the right reasons? Because the more unhealthy they are, the more you rely on someone else to complete you or to fulfill you or to give you things that you cannot feel or have in your own life. Now you become more disempowered because you're giving your power away to that person. Because let's say, for example, they make you so happy that you've never been so happy in your entire life. Now here's the danger. The more that person maybe goes through emotional turmoils or challenges, or you have arguments with them, you're going to find yourself molding and adjusting yourself to constantly make them happy, because you don't want them to be upset with you, because it affects your happiness that you feel you're gaining from them. You see, so people change, people come and go. And that means the foundation on which your happiness is built on is going to wobble and fluctuate exactly the same. You will never have stable happiness. You will never have stable inner peace or whatever it is that you're looking for. And this is why and where it's so fundamentally important to have whatever it is that you want, whatever you need from a relationship. Work on yourself and fulfill that in you first. Heal the pain point that is causing you, that's driving you to want a relationship so desperately, to fulfill these needs. Because if you don't do that, you're going to find yourself constantly and consistently repeating patterns that is very toxic and very, very unhealthy for you. So one thing, and that's one of the things that I also learned from my relationships as well, and especially when you're incompatible with someone, it's like if you're a fish and you're dating a bird, it's not going to work. I mean, if you're very fully dedicated, you might make it work, but you're going to have to sacrifice certain needs, and you have to ask yourself, am I willing to do that for this relationship long term? Because in the beginning it might feel so great, because this person is fulfilling a desperate, long, dire need that you've had for such a long time, that your full focus is now being so happy with this need being fulfilled that you're ignoring the other 95% of this person, because you're still so high on this euphoria of what this other person is helping you to feel and gain, which is going to be temporarily. We call it the honeymoon phase. It's going to fade off at some point, and other parts and aspects of this person is going to come in, and your eyes are going to open up, and the veil is going to drop. And now it begs the question: Are you going to like what you see? That's now the big question. So that's something that I also had to learn in my life, is to not always go based on all these heightened high emotions. I've learned that sometimes people who make you feel calm, they can be your best partner, because I've noticed, and people talk a lot about the twin flames, right? The twin flame, and this is it's like this dual split of your soul, and it's not a part of you. But these type of relationships never work. They come together with so much heat and passion, but they fizzle out also extremely fast. And that's because of the resonance that you feel with that person. But you're also going to be facing and dealing with and having a mirror in your face of all the stuff that you haven't dealt with. This person's going to have it as well. Can you imagine? It's like two broken people coming together and trying to be in a relationship. It's not going to work. That's why sometimes opposites are actually a very beautiful match that actually can work extremely really well if a person's ego doesn't get too involved, right? If a person's needs can be flexible to also take into consideration what it is that the other person wants and also what they need. That's also something that I learned as well. Now, when we look at a relationship, how to find the right person, how to find someone that can be in alignment with you, now that's a good question. One thing that we have to look at is, what is the most dominant pattern that you've had so far in your life in relationships? We all have themes, we all have patterns, and we are all probably most likely well aware of it. If you're not conscious of it, then ask yourself, why did most of my previous relationships fail? Or why is the relationship that I'm in right now um maybe very upsetting, maybe it's traumatizing, or maybe it's boring, maybe I'm sad. Whatever it is that where you're finding yourself right now, there's a pattern. We are creatures of habit. And we tend to also play out these patterns in most areas of our lives. And of course, the same applies also in our relationships. So the question that you want to ask yourself is, when you look at this pattern, when did this pattern start? Now, in most cases, it's probably going to have started in your first relationship, or maybe you might have noticed it only in your second, third relationship, or maybe you see it also in friendships. Now, when we look at these patterns, they normally stem back way back into our childhood. Now, when we look at these patterns, we have to look and ask, what step do I keep failing to take to correct this? What step do I keep failing to take to correct this? Or you can ask yourself, what step do I need to take to finally correct this? Now, a lot of people might say, well, I need self love, or I need this, or I need that. Sometimes it goes a little bit deeper than that. Sometimes we need to have better boundaries. Sometimes we need to have more of a healthier self esteem. Maybe we need to have a better definition of what a partner is. Maybe we need to have a better understanding of what is our definition for love. Because this is the biggest culprit why people can't find love, is because the definition that they have of love is not healthy. Now, in your mind, you might have the perfect definition set out, the perfect definition. But if your past associations with love has been upsetting, traumatizing, if you've been rejected a lot, if you have been abandoned a lot, if you've maybe been mistreated a lot, and you did not address these patterns, if you did not heal them, there's a high chance that you're going to attract people that's going to cause you to feel in these negative ways again. Why? Because that is your subconscious mind's reference to what love is. That is your subconscious mind's reference to what love is. You can write on a piece of paper the most amazing definition with the most savvy words of what love is, or what your definition of it is, or what your definition of relationships are. But now begs the question, why is it that if your definition of it is so clear, why haven't you attracted that yet? Why? You see, so this is where the catch comes in. This is the double-edged sword. This is now when you look at, okay, well, I've written all these things and I know what I want. I know what it should look like, but I'm not seeing it. I can't find people that it resonates with. And you find yourself end up feeling attracted to people who's going to make you feel that the same way that other people did in the past of your failed relationships. The patterns in the relationship might be different, But the way that the relationship makes you feel at the end can be very similar to your previous relationships. It's not necessarily about the actions that the other person take. It's about your internal world and how you feel. Now, if your association with love equals maybe rejection, because in the past, when you wanted love, when you wanted to have acceptance, or when you reached out to mom or dad or whoever in your life for connection, and they kept rejecting you, rejecting you, rejecting you because they didn't have time, they were maybe busy with work, and there's all this blah, 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 all these excuses and lists. Now, what is happening? Your subconscious mind is wiring, I need love with rejection. So now we still know and understand what love is. We still know and understand what we would like it to make us feel. But the reference in the subconscious mind that we have for love is rejection. So now what's going to happen? I want love, I want love, I want love. That's what we call the conscious thought. But the subconscious mind is saying, well, I understand that as rejection. Okay, great. So let's align with people who's going to reject you. That's really truly how it ends up playing out. And this is a pattern that I got so frustrated in my life because I could not break this pattern, and I didn't understand what was I missing. Why couldn't I find the right partner? I was absolutely gobsmacked. And so, believe it or not, I found true love only like when I was 36, like way late in my life, that I really truly I found my husband, my soulmate. And now we have a family together. I never thought that I would have kids. I never thought that I would get married again. I never dreamt of any of this happening because I felt that I just couldn't create it. I kept just recreating toxic relationships. And the pattern shifted for me when I looked at what was my definition of love. And when I healed the pain points of my definition of love, meaning when I wanted love or needed love, how did people react to me? How did that make me feel? Because these are the anchors. These are the reasons why people will continually treat you in certain ways and cause you to feel that you can't have what you want. And once that shifted, that's when my husband came into my life. And it was too good to be true at first. But really truly, it absolutely shifted everything for me. Everything. All my patterns stopped. All the drama stopped. All the pain stopped. All the confusion, the mistrust, everything just ceased to exist when I finally worked on my definition of love. Now, of course, there were other things I looked at, the trauma of being rejected, the trauma of betrayal, the trauma of mistrust, and not knowing or understanding what my real true definition of love was. I thought I knew what it was, but it was a fantasy. It wasn't based on actual proper reality. So all of this I had to reshape and redefine. And I became so passionate about sharing what I've learned in my own life with people because I want everyone to find this love. I want everyone to find themselves because now I feel that I'm happy within myself. I'm not looking for my happiness in my partner or in someone else. And this is now where I've also been the happiest because now my happiness is stable because it stays with me. Because remember, people and circumstances fluctuate and change. And if your happiness, if your love is in someone else's hands, your love and your happiness is going to continuously fluctuate. Remember, I already mentioned that. That's an absolute given. And that's why I designed this course, this pre-recorded online course, which is also IPHM accredited and CTAA accredited, How to Love Again. I think the course is over 7-8 hours long, but because we really go deep into you, your identity, healing from past relationships, healing past traumatic relationships, how to find yourself again, how to find the right partner, how to recognize the right partner, how to establish relationships, how to find your boundaries in relationships. I mean, this is the biggest problem that most people have. What is boundaries in a relationship? Where do these points stop and start? And we don't just scratch on it, we go deep, deep, deep into all of these topics. And it's a very, very powerful course that has already changed so many people's lives and so many people relationships, and also helped so many people to find love in their lives as well. So I'm very excited to be sharing this very, very powerful online course that I've designed to help people to finally just nip in the butt all these problems and challenges that they've been having, and to just really truly find the love that they absolutely 100% deserve. So I'm very excited to be doing a live healing meditation here with you. And remember, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I would love to see if I can help you answer it. It needs to be related to how to find love again, because if there's something that you can relate to, I would love to help you. Because having love in your life is one of the most beautiful things that you could ever dream of or ask for. So I would love for you now to take a nice deep breath. And just also, some people are asking, where is the course? You can find it at evettecourses.com. We go live with it on the 20th of October. And if you sign up today, you get 10% discount. And I promise you, this course is going to change the way that you see relationships and how you attract partners. And even if you are in a relationship now, it's going to really help you to bring a lot of things back into balance and into alignment for you. Okay. So let me just see if there's any other questions. No, okay, we're doing great. All right, everyone. So let's start our healing meditation. All right, let's start by taking a nice deep breath. And I invite you now just to become aware and focus on your breath. Just notice as you're breathing, as you're inhaling and exhaling. And now I invite you to hear, feel, see, or sense yourself in an open space. And as you're finding yourself in that open space, imagine now that there's a big waterfall in front of you. Allowing yourself now to step underneath that waterfall. Feeling how that warm water, that warm energy, healing light from that water flowing through your body, down, 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 out your feet. Feeling how it's releasing old stress that is in your body. Feel how it's releasing exhaustion and tension. Any part of your life where you perhaps feel overwhelmed. Releasing that now. And now, I invite you to ask yourself, when you are in a relationship, or maybe you currently are in one, I invite you now to ask yourself, what do I need the most from a partner? What do I need the most from a partner? Let's establish that first. What do I need the most from a partner? And whatever your answer now is, that's normally a pain point that we have in our life. clearly a lack of fulfillment, something that feels very unfulfilled. So there's a longing, there's a desire, there's a need for it. Now, whatever your answer was, where in your body do you feel the longing or the desire for it? Imagine that emotion, that need, that desire had a place in your body. Where in your body do you feel the need for it? And be playful. Use your imagination. Where do you feel the need for it? And now, as you are bringing your awareness to that part of your body, do you perhaps hear, feel, see, or sense just spontaneously someone's face or voice that you recognize from your past? Maybe your childhood, maybe from your parents, maybe from a previous partner, maybe someone that you know. Now, whatever message you observed or saw there, whoever it was, command now for this experience with this person or memory to be gently released from your mind, body, and soul. Releasing this person now from this past challenge where they challenged you, and releasing them now, for they no longer have to challenge you anymore. And just imagine and feel a beautiful energy healing light coming through, healing and resolving and dissolving that person or that situation, and just observing and seeing that person becoming smaller and smaller and smaller and weaker, lighter and lighter, going, 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 going. And now, wherever you felt in your body that longing, that desire, that need, imagine now a ball of light in your hands. And this ball of light holds this need that you have. Let's say, for example, you needed acceptance. Imagine this ball of light is filled with acceptance. Imagine that now. And as you're holding that ball of light, fill it up with that unmet need. And then bring that ball of light and bring it into the area where you felt that longing or that desire. Bring it in, feeling how it's just merging through every single cell in your body, flowing through every single cell, healing you and soothing you, allowing you now to give this to yourself in this moment, and for you to no longer rely on anyone or needing anyone to fulfill that for you. Calling your power back from all the people who failed to give you this beautiful need. And for you now to give that gift to yourself. And just be with that for a minute or two. And now, allowing a beautiful, warm, energy healing light to flow from your head, down your body, down, 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 out your feet, healing every cell and fiber in your body from the lack that you've experienced with this need, soothing you and healing you. And now, imagine your full focus and awareness is coming back down to the bottom of your feet, grounding you and anchoring you back into your body. And then slowly start to come back, opening your eyes and allowing this healing to continue to integrate throughout the day and night. And know and understand that you are worthy and deserving of having what you want. But in order to have that, to really truly have that, you need to feel worthy of it as well. There we go. And gently come back to me. And thank you for being here with me, everyone. That was a very nice meditation. Okay. So remember, you can go grab the course, How to Love Again, at yvettecourses.com. Remember, you get 10% discount today until the 20th of October. And find the love that you know that you deserve. And so here we also have one question. We have a question quickly that I want to just see here. A few people saying hi, hello everyone. I'm streaming here from different platforms, so if I didn't see you saying hi, I do apologize. We have a question here. Why is it that our body goes back to trauma even though we try to heal ourselves? I feel like my body is okay, but once I think of bad things, my body reacts and it starts reacting to the trauma. That is because the trauma hasn't been fully resolved. Right? So basically, what's happening is you found a place in your body and your mind where you now feel comfortable. You feel comfortable with what had happened, but it doesn't mean that you necessarily fully healed from it. Do you see the difference? There's a very big difference. So, what I'm seeing and understanding is that you feel comfortable, but not fully healed, because the fact that there's still a big trigger to the point where it causes you discomfort or it bothers you or it sabotages you, then you now know that there's still some loose ends that you need to tie up as well. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your love, your time, and your energy. And I'm so excited to be connecting with you next time. Next week, Monday, we also have another webinar, live Q&A, where we're going to be looking at the body's messages and how to open up your intuition. I'm very excited. So do go check it out. I would love to see you there. So everyone, thank you for being here. I love you. Big hugs, big kisses. Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye. Take care.